Alhambra, you're basically a master builder, shopping for walls, towers, and gardens to create the ultimate palace. It's quick to learn, surprisingly strategic, and all about timing your purchases better than everyone else at the table. Hi, I'm April from Your Turn Gaming, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to play Alhambra. We will talk about the object of the game, how to play the game, how to score it, and what it takes to win this charming game. So come join me as we build the ultimate palace. So let's talk about what the objective of the game is today. The point of the game is so that you're building the most building tiles of each kind in your Alhambra at the right time. Timing in this game is very important in regards to like the scoring and whatnot. So during the game, you will have random scoring periods and points are awarded depending on the amount of each type of colored tiled pieces placed. Players will also receive points for having the longest part of a wall they have built around their Alhambra. The winner of the game is the one that is awarded the most points at the end of the game. So let's see how we can get this game set up. So first, each player is given a starting tile. And you'll notice it's a starting tile because it's got a fountain and there's no sides all around it. It's kind of an open space. You're given 2 counters, which are these pieces right here, to place one in the center of your Alhambra, which is your starting place. And then you're going to take the other one and place it on the starting map. Next, you're going to take a set of 54 tiles. As you notice, I've already placed them inside my bag. And you just want to kind of shake them to get them nice and mixed up. Next, you're going to take the building marker and you're going to place it in the center of the table and the scoring board at the end of the table. 4 building tiles will be taken out at random from the bag and placed in order as they are drawn. So meaning I'm going to take one at a time and place one in each of the squares. Now each player is going to be given a tile reserve board with a points table at the top. And the table shows how many points there are and each type of different building that you can build in this game and how many points you can get in order to win. So you place that also with your set. Then each player is given starting money. So to do this, you want to make sure that you have your deck of cards. So you'll notice that all of these are multicolored. There is blue, orange, yellow, and green. And so to start this game, you're going to get 20 or possibly more money. And how you do this is you're going to face up one card at a time. So you notice I have a 3 and 8. So I now have 11. I got 20. So I'm going to stop right there. So this player now starts with 20 money. Okay, and that's your starting numbers. And then the same thing would go on for the other players. So once you've given out all the money, it's now hidden from your opponent. So this is the only time when anybody should ever be allowed to see what money you have in your hand. Because at the end of the game, this can come into effect when it comes to buying some of these tiles later. So the player with the fewest cards starts. If there is a tie, then the player with the lowest amount of money starts. If there is still a tie, the youngest player is the one that starts. And then finally, 4 money cards are played face up in the middle of the table. The rest of the money cards are divided up into roughly 5 piles. So as I mentioned before, there are scoring times during the game at which we are going to stop the gameplay and you would score the different tiles that you have placed in your Alhambra. The first one, you will notice it's the first one because it has the A at the top, and there is only whoever is the first player is going to be the player that will score the points first. So you're going to put this in the second pile of the scoring round. Next, you're going to take the B, and you'll notice it has the first and the second place players is going to go on top of the 4th pile. Then you're going to put the piles back on top, meaning, so 4 is going to go on top of 5, 3, 2, and 1. So now you have your money card deck set up. And so now we're ready to talk about how to play. And I'm just going to put this deck kind of right here next to the money supply. So on your turn, you're going to have 3 choices of what you're able to do. You're going to be able to take money from the money supply. You're going to buy and position a building tile, or you can choose to redesign your Alhambra. So once the player's turn is over, the cards or tiles that are missing from the board will then be replaced from either the bag or from the money pile. So with these actions being said, let's look and see more specifically what they are. So as I said, taking money is just as it says. From the face-up pile right here, you've noticed we have a green 6, orange 4, an 8 green, and an 8 yellow. If you choose to take money as one of your actions, you're supposed to take up to 5. Yes, I realize that there is a 6, an 8, and an 8. So that would be the only money that you are able to take at that time. And because there's no real low cards, these are mainly what you're able to take. So for example, if you have the 6 that is the one that you want to take, this would be the only money that you're able to take. And then you don't automatically flip the card right away to reveal it. You have to wait until the entire turn is over. So you can only take what money is here. If I chose to take, say, the 4 in the place, there's nothing else that I can add up to equal 5. So that would be the only card I would also be able to take. So you want to be strategic in your money play, because later when we choose to buy some of the tiles, you may need the lower cards in order to purchase some of them to pay the exact cost. And we'll talk about that in just a minute. So I would look at my cards and I basically have all of these colors. So you might think, okay, I'm going to look at here and I'm going to decide which one would help me the most. So for the purpose of this, I'm just going to take the green 8 and put it in my hand, and that would be my turn. So then after my turn is over, I would flip over and replace any card that is missing. Now let's say you don't choose to take the money right away. The next option could be that you choose to buy a building from the market. Okay, so now I look at my money and I think, okay, what can I buy that would be strategic? So remember, you want to keep your building cost card pretty close so that you could see which are the rare ones, which are the most common ones, because obviously the most common ones, a lot of people are going to be able to build those. So I'm going to take this brown one. As you notice right here, it says 8. So I look at my money, and because it was a yellow space, I can only pay with the yellow money. So I have an 8 to pay exactly. So I would put it in my discard, and then I'm able to play again because I paid exact for that. And I look at my money, and if I choose to not build anything else, I can then go to the money phase down here and then choose. But the other thing I can do also is, because I just purchased this, I can now place it. So you would place it on an open space next to your starting tile. So this darker spot right here is called the wall, and you can't actually build it. So I can't actually put it like this. The wall has to be open so that my person hypothetically could be able to walk to that building continuously. So for now, I'm going to place it on this side. But if I'm not able to actually place the piece, say I buy something from the market and I can't play it, I can actually put it in my reserve. But then it would take another action to bring it back out and then be able to rearrange my Alhambra. But for now, I'm going to place it in my center. So now, as I say, I was able to pay exact. So I could now either choose to pay money for another one, or I could choose the money. I immediately don't replace this one that's missing. You have to wait until your entire turn is over before you replace anything here. So now if I pay 8 to buy this green one, I can immediately then place it, remembering our rule about the walls. So I can technically walk to this one. There is a border down here, and there's a border right here. So I want to make sure I try to connect those as best I can. So now, because I did not pay exact for this one, I paid 1 over, my turn is now over. So then at the end of your turn, this is the time when you would replace any of the ones missing, drawing them one at a time. As a special rule, like I said, if you pay exact, you do get another turn. So it is actually possible for you to get a maximum of 5 actions during your turn if you are able to pay the exact amount for the tile shown on here. And then you would take the money at the end of your turn, because if you're able to place them or put them in your reserve, you can definitely take more actions. So that's why I was saying it's important to watch which money you purchase or you pick up as you're doing your turn. So it is important to make sure that your buildings are facing the same way. So when I was talking about placing it, I did say I can't put it on this side, right? Because I have the wall. I can put it on this side because I can freely walk to this. This piece, say I don't want to put it down here, which is where it would technically fit. I can't turn it around and place it up here. My pieces all have to face me. So meaning the 7 has to be facing me. So the only place it could truly go so that my person could walk to it would be down here. So now a few turns have passed, as you can tell from my Alhambra. And as I mentioned, your person hypothetically would need to be able to walk through. I wanted to show you an example of what it would look like for you to actually have walls inside your Alhambra. If you notice here between the 4 and the 5 and the 8 and the 9, these pieces specifically, you will notice that if I pull it apart a little bit, there is a wall here and there's a wall here. There is a rule in which you are able to actually play a wall up against another wall. So it is important that had I not already played this 9, I couldn't play this one because I can't technically walk to it. I have to actually have a piece here in order to be able to get to it, even through that wall. So do keep that in mind as you're strategically placing your Alhambra. Now, this piece, for example, it has walls on 3 sides. So this type of piece can be challenging in which you are able to place it. So keep that in mind as you're picking out appropriate pieces and they are able to actually face you. So your last action, as I mentioned, is you can redesign your Alhambra. Say you have several pieces in your reserve and you want to be able to play them. There's a step in which you can actually do that. You can use that as one of your actions to figure out, okay, well, where can I go? Or say you don't need to rearrange, but you want to be able to add it, and that would take an action in order to place it. So you would take the building from your reserve and add it to your Alhambra. So you can remove pieces from your Alhambra to put into your reserve. You can exchange a building tile on the board already. So say I wanted to put these, I wanted to switch these two. I could do that, but then I also have to worry about my wall. But as long as they do work and they can fit in the configuration that you're working towards, that is another okay thing to do. As long as they're in the exact same spot and your person can freely move through the Alhambra. So now it's my turn, and I have now drawn the scoring card. So what do I do now to do the scoring? So as I mentioned early in the game, there are 2 scoring cards that come up. When the scoring card is drawn and the game stops immediately, so before the next person can actually go, this card needs to be played first. For each scoring round, points are awarded to whoever has the most kind of building. Players are also given points for the length of their walls around their Alhambra. Points are awarded for having the highest number of one of different kinds of buildings. So we're going to look at my Alhambra at this moment and see how many points I'm going to be able to get. Now, hypothetically, you would be playing with somebody else, but since I'm playing by myself, I'm going to show you how I would score this. I'm going to first look to see if I have any blue buildings. So I look at all my pieces. I don't have any blue buildings, so I don't get any points for that. Next, I would look at red, and I have 2. So if I was playing against somebody, whoever would have the most would actually score the points. So I would get 2 points for this one. Next, I would look at the brown. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I would get 3 points. Next, I would look at the white. I have 1 for that, so I would move up 1. Green, I have 2 green, so I move up 5. And then last is purple, so purple being the rarest in this game. So I have 3 of those, so I would move up 6. And that's how the scoring round works. And then you would wait through the cards to move to the next round of scoring. So once you get to the second scoring round, you will now notice that there is points for first place and points now for second place. And then at the end of the game, on your reserve board itself, it tells you how many points for third place. So you would do the scoring round just as we did before, where you would go color by color, and whoever has the most would get the most points on the center column, and then whoever has the second most points on the far right column. Now, if by some chance 2 players tie, then the points would be divided, rounded down. So there could be some times when 2 players actually tie for first, but they get less points than if they were actually the second player, the second place player. So you have to keep that in mind as you're watching what your opponents are doing too. So points are also not awarded for if they are sitting in your reserve. So they are only counted for the ones that are in play currently. And so the reserve is kind of off limits. So when you're counting your wall, you count points based on the length of the wall. Now, because I have these 2 connecting on the inside, this is actually not something I'm going to count. Longest wall means whichever one currently is the longest. So even though I have a couple of walls going, I have to see which one is the longest, and that would be the points that I would get. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So truly, I would only get 5 points. One of them would not count. So basically, you can't count the shorter one. So I have 2 here and I have 2 here. That doesn't count. So I would move myself another 5 points. So the game ends when there are not enough tiles in the bag to be able to fill the last 4 spaces. Let's say now that my board looks like this, and I only have enough in here for the green, the yellow, and the blue. What would happen then is I would look at my cards, and I would see which one, all the players would say, oh, I have this number of green cards. However much. So say one player has a 6 and I have a 3. No matter what the cost of this actually is, that player would be able to take that piece for the price of the number of cards. Whoever has the most, they are able to take it. Now, if I had the most of another color, obviously there's no orange, so this does me no good. But if I had the most, say, of the yellow, say I had 8 yellow and nobody else had higher than 8, then I could actually take this and I could place it immediately. If I can't place it, I do put it in my reserve. But that's how that part of the game would actually work. So if 2 or more players have the same amount, then that building remains on the board. So say 2 players both have 8 money as their highest number, then they actually have to leave this 6 here, because it wouldn't be fair. Both players can't technically get it. The third and final scoring round now takes place. The player who leads on the scoring board after this last round has won the game. If 2 players are tied, it's basically a draw in this game. There's no technical winner. So it's either all or nothing. So thank you for joining me in today's video on how to play Alhambra. I hope that you found this video helpful in one way or another. I truly enjoy this game. It's one that I pull out quite often. It is an older game, but I do kind of tend to gravitate to the Queen games, and this one has been one that I've gravitated to. If you have enjoyed any part of this video, I hope that you would give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you were new, because I do videos like this all the time. I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your day. As always, friends, there's more games out there. Let's go play them.
Now that you've finished watching this video, be sure to check out our other videos. Please also like the video, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the gaming fun. There's more games out there. Let's go play them.